Hey, welcome to video 11 of our series, You'll Get Through This by Max Lucado. We are starting chapter 5, and chapter 5 is entitled Bootcamp. The chapter opens with a story about a fighter pilot who fell behind enemy lines in Vietnam and faced a pretty horrific imprisonment by the enemy. And Joseph did what was right. Joseph made the right choice. We talked about yesterday how he was tempted by Potiphar's wife. Joseph did what was right. Potiphar's wife lied, and Joseph ended up in prison. He made the right choice that honored God and his earthly master. Yet he ended up in a dungeon anyway because Potiphar's wife lied. It says in the book, here, I'm reading from page 47, and it says, since when does the high road lead over a cliff? The answer, ever since the events of Genesis 3, the chapter that documents the entry of evil into the world. Disaster came in the form of Lucifer, a fallen angel, and as long as Satan prowls around like a roaring lion, he will wreak havoc among God's people. He will lock preachers like Paul in prisons. He will exile pastors like John on remote islands. He will afflict the friends of Jesus like Lazarus with diseases. But his strategies always backfire. The imprisoned Paul wrote epistles. The banished John saw heaven. The cemetery of Lazarus became a stage upon which Christ performed one of his greatest miracles. I want you to hear this. Intended evil becomes ultimate good in the hands of God. There is nothing trite about our pits and our uphill battles. They're not easy, but they're also not random. Take Joseph from an earthly viewpoint. The enemy had Joseph where he wanted him, locked, unable to fulfill the call that God put on his life. But God, the book talks about what Satan intended for evil, God used for testing. In the Bible, a test is an external trial that purifies and prepares the heart. Just as fire refines precious metal from dross and impurities, a trial purges the heart of the same. See, we need to see our problems more than our isolated hurts and hassles. We need to see them as having some significance. If we see them as just mundane and random, we're going to grow bitter, we're going to grow angry. But if we see our trials as tests used by God for His glory and our maturity, even small incidences have huge significance. This is one way that Max Lucado shares with us that we can not just endure our pits, but that we can thrive in our pits, because our pits have a purpose when they're put in God's hands. Remember, intended evil becomes ultimate good, but you have to choose to see it for what it is. So I want to encourage you today, if you are going through a pit, if you feel that you have been dealt the evil deck, remember that intended evil becomes ultimate good when we put it in the Lord's hands and we trust Him. God bless and have a great day.